Welcome students of Standard 8. Today we are going to learn history. We are going to continue with chapter 4, the freedom struggle of 1857. Students, in the last part 1, we have studied the background of the struggle, the causes for the struggle and the scope of the struggle. Now in this part, in part 2, we are going to study the remaining part of the lesson where we are going to study the leadership of the struggle, how the struggle was crushed, what were the causes of the failure of this struggle, the consequences of the struggle, the Queen's proclamation, the change in composition of the army and the change in the policy of the British. First, I will explain to you and then we will proceed to read the lesson. You can also open your books. Lesson 4. Leadership of the struggle. During the 18th century, it were the Marathas who understood that the Mughal Empire had become weak and they were not able to resist the foreign invasions. So it could be understood that how they took part in the Battle of Panipat and fought against Abdali, who invaded India. Later on in 1857, the Mughal descendants, Bahadur Shah was the emperor. He was not able to resist the British. So it was Nana Sahib Peshwa, Rani Lakshmibai and Tatya Tope who took the leadership of this freedom struggle. But unfortunately, this struggle was not successful. The British crushed it in every possible way. They were strong enough by rule, by artillery and by other ways. And finally, they crushed down the struggle by all means by the end of 1858. Now, who were the main people? These were the people Nana Sahib Peshwa, Rani Lakshmibai, Tatya Tope, who took part in this, and this till here whatever I taught you we will read now. Leadership of the struggle. The Marathas understood that Mughal Empire cannot react to these foreign invasions and took up the responsibility of safeguarding India. The Marathas fought against Abdali at Panipat for the same reason. In the freedom struggle of 1857, the descendant of Mughal Bahadur Shah was incapable of fighting against the British. Understanding the condition, Nana Sahib Peshwa, Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi and Tatya Tope took up the charge of the freedom struggle of 1857. Its effect could be seen on the Hindu-Muslim unity in this struggle. Maulavi Ahmad Allah, Kuwar Singh, Mughal commander Bhakta Khan, Begum Hazrat Mahal led the revolt in various places. Now, this picture is there on page number 17, children. You can see the British tried in every possible way to crush the revolt. It was Rani Lakshmibai and Kuwar Singh and Ahmadullah who laid down their lives for the struggle. Tatya Tope continued to fight against the British for nearly 10 months. But due to the betrayal, he was caught and hanged to death. It was Begum Hazrat Mahal and Nana Sahib Peshwa who took shelter in Nepal, and even the Emperor Bahadur Shah was arrested and kept in prison in Rangoon. So in this way, the British tried in every possible way to crush the revolt. Now, we will read this. Crushing of the struggle. The Indians wholeheartedly fought against the British, including soldiers, zamindars, kings, commanders and common people. The Indian sepoys started the freedom struggle before the fixed time. Initially they succeeded, but military strength and administration of the British rule was vast. The British crushed down the struggle by all means. The British made quick recovery and within next 6 months regained the lost territories. Rani Lakshmibai, Kuwar Singh, Ahmadullah laid their lives. Bahadur Shah was imprisoned at Rangoon. Nana Sahib and Begum Hazrat Mahal took shelter in Nepal. Tatya Tope fought for next 10 months against the British, but due to betrayal, he was caught and hanged to death. In this way, by the end of 1858, the British ruthlessly crushed down the struggle. But this freedom struggle gained a national fought. Now, what were the causes of the failure? There were mainly 5 causes. The struggle was not comprehensive. Means, this struggle did not take place simultaneously all over India. It was local in nature, so it was easy for the British to crush it. Next, lack of central leadership. There was no commonly accepted leader to fight against the British, and there was no uniformity. So this was one reason for the failure of the struggle. Third, most of the feudatory princes remained aloof. There were some princely states who supported the British, and due to this was one of the reasons why the freedom struggle failed. Next, lack of military tactics. This struggle started with the revolt of the soldiers. The soldiers were of course brave, but they did not have proper military tactics or strategies, and even the arms and ammunitions with them were limited. So this was one cause for the failure. Next, international situation became favorable for Britishers. At that time, the Crimean War with Russia was just over, and the British were victorious in it. At the same time, the British had trade relations spread in different countries in the world. They also had a proper naval strength, whereas the Indian soldiers were aloof and they were isolated. So this was the main reason for the failure of the uprising. Now till here children, we will read causes of failure of the struggle. The struggle of 1857 became unsuccessful due to the following reasons. The struggle was not comprehensive. The struggle did not take place simultaneously all over India. Its intensity was more severe in North India, but Rajputana, Punjab, some parts of Bengal and Northwest India remained aloof. Lack of central leadership. There was no commonly accepted leader to fight against the British. Due to this, there was no uniformity in the struggle against the British. Third, most of the feudatory princes remained aloof. Just as the common people suffered due to British rule, similarly, the princes also were suffering. But except a few, others remained faithful to the British. Fourth, lack of military tactics. Indian soldiers were brave but did not use tactics. They captured Delhi but could not retain it. Similarly, the Indian rebels had limited arms supply. The British had economic strength, disciplined army, enough stock of latest arms and experienced army generals. Since transport and communication was in the hands of the British, their movements were swift. Due to this, the Indian sepoys could not succeed. Wars are fought not only based on bravery but also through military strategies. So these were the causes, children, for the failure of the freedom struggle of 1857. Now, what were the consequences of this struggle? Consequences means the result, the effect. Now, because of this, the company's rule came to an end, and the British Parliament took charge of India. Next, Queen's Proclamation. The Queen proclaimed that the Indians are her progeny. Also, they said that there will be no interference in the religious matters of the people. At the same time, they said that they will honor the company's agreements done with the princely states, and the princely states will not be annexed after this. Now these 2 points we will read, children. the consequences of the freedom struggle. It forced the British Parliament to end the rule of the company and instead take over the responsibility of ruling over the people of India through the Government of India Act 1858. So according to this act, the Governor General was now designated as the Viceroy of India. So the Governor General became the Viceroy. Now at that time, Lord Canning was the Governor General. So it happened, Lord Canning happened to be the last Governor General and the first Viceroy of India. A new post called Secretary of State was created in the British government to look after the affairs of India. Now, the Queen's Proclamation. Queen Victoria of England issued a declaration addressing the people of India. All Indians are our progeny. Henceforth, they will not be discriminated on basis of race, religion, caste or birthplace. Government services will be given on merit. So, she also declared that government posts will be given on merit. They will not make any discrimination on the basis of religion, race, caste. There will be no interference in religious affairs. They will not interfere into the religious matters of the people. It was made clear that the British Crown will honor all treaties and agreements made by the company with the rulers of princely states, and no princely state will be annexed henceforth. So, this was the Queen's Proclamation. Now, change in composition of the army. But very cleverly, they made changes in the composition of their army. British soldiers, the number of British soldiers were increased in the army. At the same time, the important strategic locations were given to English officers. Artillery was kept in the hands of the British officers only. And they also made divisions in the army on the basis of caste. So, we will read this now. The proportion of British soldiers was increased in the army. English officers were placed at strategic locations. Artillery was kept exclusively in the hands of the British. There was division of military on basis of caste. Proper care was taken to avoid Indians to unite and rebel again against the British. So they took every possible way that the Indian soldiers should not come together and unite and revolt again. So for that they made all these changes. Next, the change in policy. Now the Britishers knew that in India people of different caste, religion exist. So they made up the policy to divide and rule. They didn't want the people to unite for common cause, and so they adopted the policy of divide and rule. Now we will read this. Change in policy. The British accepted the policy of non-interference in social and religious aspects of Indians. They also started taking care that the Indian society will not be united on social grounds. They saw to it that there will be constant conflicts on grounds of caste, religion, race, territory, etc. So they saw to it that the people should fight amongst themselves in name of religion, in name of caste, etc. They adopted the policy of polluting the minds of Indians by following the divide and rule policy. So henceforth, very cleverly, they use this policy of divide and rule. Due to the freedom struggle of 1857, the Indians felt of giving a united fight against the British rule. The freedom struggle of 1857 became an inspiration of Indian freedom movement. Now this led the background for the freedom movement. So children, go through the lesson properly, read it and try to find out the fill in the blanks given at the back of the textbook. Thank you.